Life has a way of moving fast. We get caught up in the routine, the responsibilities, the pressure to succeed. And before we know it, days turn into months, and months into years. We make plans for the future. We put things off. We tell ourselves, I'll get to it later. But the truth of the matter is, later isn't promised. Every single day, someone is facing a reality that many of us try to avoid. The reality that life is fragile and time is limited. Well, today on Empire Talk, we're not just having a conversation. We're stepping into a perspective that most people never truly take the time to understand. Because when you sit with someone who deals with loss, grief, and final goodbyes on a daily basis, you start to see life differently. Today's guest is more than a professional. He's a man who has dedicated his life to serving families in their most difficult moments. A man has witnessed pain, but also love, grief, but also healing, endings, but also the impact of a life lived. But beyond the title, beyond the work, he's also a man of resilience, experience, and purpose. Today we sit down with Roland Criswell for a conversation about life, loss, legacy, and what really matters when it's all said and done. This isn't just another episode. This is a sit down with Roland Criswell. Now let's talk.
Empire Talk, where truth is told. Every voice, every soul. No more hiding, no more lies. Just the real you shining bright. Empire Talk, where honesty is key. Every conversation, every story free. Empire Talk, where real conversations thrive. No more mess, just pure drive. Every story runs deep. Empire Talk, let's talk.
Some people talk about life, and some people live with the reality of it every single day. Today's guest has been the highs, the lows, and the moments that changed families forever. He's walked with people through grief, helped them find peace, and witnessed what truly matters when everything else fades away. But beyond the work, there's a story. There's strength, there's purpose. And today, we're about to hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to get ready and prepare yourself. And please welcome my friend, my cousin, he was my employer, Roland Criswell. Come on, let's welcome him to the show. Welcome, Roland.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here, man. Now, I said in the introduction,
Yeah.
once my employer.
Yeah. Still might be.
All right. I know that's right. You're in a business that will keep you working. Huh?
Yeah. It's like a roller coaster.
It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah. One day you might be silent. The next day I'm calling Keith. Like, I need some help, brother.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm so glad you decided to join me on Empire Talk. This is where we just sit and we talk. I'm gonna have some questions. Just be transparent. People want to know about Roland.
Okay.
Who's Roland?
Yeah.
Who's behind Coston Funeral Home?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you know I know.
Yes.
Because I worked with you.
Yes.
I worked for you.
Yes.
I'm telling you this. I had never worked a job that I had so much. I have mixed feelings about. If that's okay to say.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are just not. They're not that comfortable around death.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Most people aren't.
Most people aren't.
Right.
Yeah. And I was around it quite a bit. I've seen it all. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's because of you, and I thank you. Because my father used to do what we did. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He used to work in the funeral business, and it's just ironic that Carl and I ended up doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So people want to know about Roland.
Okay.
So I got questions, like I
Okay.
always say to the people. I got questions.
And I have answers.
And you got good. He's got answers, y'all. So I'm excited.
Okay.
So Roland, for those who may not know you, who are you beyond the title of funeral homeowner? Who are you?
First and foremost, I'm a lover of God.
Yes.
I'm a husband. I'm a father. I was born in 1977, and when I came home from McGee Hospital, we were taken right to the funeral home.
Wow.
People often ask, how long have you been in the business or around the business?
Right.
I've been around it my whole life. We
Wow.
came home from the hospital and came to 427 Lincoln Avenue, and we lived upstairs. And beside the few years, I went away to Morgan State University.
Wow.
I've been in funeral service my entire life. So once again, I'm a lover of God.
Yes.
I'm a husband. I'm a father, and I'm a business owner.
That's great. You're a husband, you're a father, and you're a family man.
I am.
You're a family man. You mentioned something just a moment ago about living upstairs.
Yes.
Was that during when the funeral home was there?
Yeah. My grandparents opened the funeral home in 1963.
Okay.
So by the time I was born in 77, the funeral home was I was doing well, and I never knew any difference. I mean, it's not like one day I just woke up and said, "Oh my goodness, I'm at a funeral home." It was just something I was always accustomed to.
Yeah.
It was part of a regular
life. Just living upstairs where
Do nothing
when there were
different.
dead bodies downstairs.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
the normal person, would kind of think that that's kind of scary. You know what I mean?
My friends would come
I'm
over.
not saying you're not normal. I'm
No.
just
My friends would come over.
wow.
Our funeral home, our original location is right across the street from Lincoln Elementary, where I went to school, and friends would stop over on their way home from school. We used to have a big field next to the funeral home, a yard.
On the left side?
It's where our chapel is. If you're looking at the funeral home on the left side,
Okay.
and you would have the funeral home sign on the front, and
Okay.
then you would have the driveway in the back.
Yes.
Well, that's what we use as our football field. My friends and I growing up.
Wow.
And so when you got to the funeral home sign, it was one touchdown, and when you got to the concrete in the back, it was another touchdown.
Right.
My grandfather used to get upset with us when we played in the winter and we just muddied up the field. He would be upset.
He would just be upset.
Like, you are ruining my yard.
Right. Just don't walk in it. Don't walk in the funeral home. Don't walk in home. It's home and funeral home at the same time. So, wow. I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that that's where you lived in there. I didn't know that. Who? So your granddad?
Yes.
What was his name?
His name was Samuel E. Coston. My
Yes.
grandmother was Wanda Coston.
Yes.
And they opened up the business in 1963.
Right. Now, I knew their name. I just
Right.
wanted the people to know their name. And Coston is Coston Funeral Home.
Yes.
That's the name of your grandparents.
Yes, that was my mother's parents.
Your mother's
Samuel and Wanda. Yes.
Okay, so you used the lot to play football.
Yes, the yard.
The yard.
Yes.
Okay, the yard. I'm trying to picture in my mind what it looked like back then.
Yeah.
That was what? What was?
Well, he built the chapel in 92, so this was before 92.
Wow, and you're still standing.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture.
Yeah.
So you can see.
Good. I'm gonna show it. Yes.
I'll send you a picture.
Please do.
Yes.
What led you into this line of work, the funeral home? I mean, was it a calling or something that life placed on you?
It was a calling, like when God converted Saul to Paul, a Damascus road.
Okay.
No, man, I needed a profession.
Right.
Stop it.
He said,
I needed a
job.
profession. You said we're gonna be transparent.
Yeah. Come on. What is it?
So I had a scholarship to Morgan State University.
Okay.
After 2.5 years, I decided I was going to drop out of college. I was going to come back to Pittsburgh and figure it out, working, making some money.
Right.
And it was a little bit of money. I was working in a restaurant, Dingbats Restaurant in Waterworks. And I had to drop out of college and realize I needed to get back into college because I said I can't be doing this for the rest of my life.
Right.
And so I went to my grandfather, and we weighed the options of me going to Duquesne University or going to mortuary school. I didn't want to go to mortuary school without his blessing, but he gave me his blessing to go to mortuary school. And that was back in 1998, and I graduated from mortuary school in 1999. So, I was just looking for a profession, and it dawned on me that, hey, your grandfather owns a business. You need to go have a conversation with him, and that's what I did.
So, I mean, were you ever afraid of doing this? Like when you were a kid and you saw it, what was your thoughts as a kid when you saw someone dead?
So I never focused on the deceased. I focused on my grandfather's line of work. My siblings and I, on weekends sometimes we would work funerals with my grandfather. So we would get all dressed up in our, blazers and suits and ties, and we would shadow him on funerals. And so that was, for us, that was kind of the thing to do, to hang out with our grandfather and shadow him. And he'd give us directions on what to do on services. And so I always looked to my grandfather as a role model. So even as a child, if you would have said, this is funeral service is not something I set out to do. But if you would have told me like you're going to be a funeral director one day or own a family business, I would have liked that. I would have said, okay, I'm good with that. But that's not what I set out to do in 1995 at Morgan State University. I was, setting out to blaze another path.
Right. What would you be doing if you weren't?
Well, at that time, I was studying political science.
Okay.
I thought perhaps I wanted to go into politics.
Uh-oh.
I know. But I think right now, neither do I. I learned, politicians operate a lot of times in the gray. I like things black and white. I don't like to operate in the gray.
We won't stay on that topic.
We won't stay on that topic. Yeah. So I know you do. So So right now though, what catches my interest some is real estate investment. I was telling someone else, growing up, there was a rap group called Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Oh yeah.
One of his lines, he said, a real estate investor who makes a lot of money. I'd be a real estate investor who's trying to make a lot of money. That's what I would do.
Yeah, and I think that would be, well, when you're raised right, which you were, you want to look for a profession. You want to go to college. You want to be, like you said, your granddad was your role model.
He was.
And he was successful. He attended college. He went to mortuary school, Am I saying that right?
Mortuary school, yes.
Okay. What is mortuary? What do they prepare you for?
So
for people who don't.
Yeah. I've had a lot of this conversation over the last day or earlier today I was having this conversation. A lot of times people think funeral directing in the mortuary field is arranging flowers and directing cars.
Wow, okay.
And my grandfather used to giggle or chuckle when he would hear the attrition that occurs in mortuary school. So it's about a 3-semester program when you have the prerequisites from college. And you start off with about 90 students in my class. After the first semester, when they front loaded with difficult courses, whether it's pathology, microbiology,
big words.
Embalming, embalming chemistry.
Wow, there's a lot to it.
Yes, business law, the psychology of grief. They front loaded with the difficult courses to kind of weed people out. So after the first semester, you'll have about 60 students.
Wow.
So about 1/3 of the class drops. And then after the second semester, leading to the third semester, you'll have about 50 students.
Okay.
And so you'll start off with about 90 students in your class on average. And when you graduate, the attrition brings it down to 50.
Right.
Because once again, you have those courses that, people coming into mortuary school, once again, think it's just placing flowers and directing traffic. But when they're getting into business law or business ethics, and then the chemistry side, and then the sciences side, they didn't think that they signed up for all that.
Right.
So they try to make you a whole business person as well as with the sciences.
Yeah.
So even though you might want to concentrate on the business component, you still have to learn the science component.
When you say science, the science regarding
chemistry.
Chemistry.
How does the body interact with the fluid?
Right.
because of the pathology that led to death,
right.
What are the causes of death that's going to interact with the embalming fluid? That's going to tell you what strength of fluid to use or what strength of fluid not to use, how to treat a certain area, how fluid interacting with the chemical makeup of a person might cause somebody a way to look. Everyone ask me just general about someone, how they're going to turn out. And I always say, every body tells a different story.
Every body,
no two bodies.
right.
You know, what I say, well, my grandma look like this and granddad. Right. Well, every person, every body has a different chemical makeup, has an anatomical makeup. So no two people are the same. And so the science and mortuary school helps you to deal with those things.
It's funny you said that because what I think most people that may be watching don't know that you're a twin.
Yeah, and you are too.
I did a show, Empire Talk. I sit down with my twin. Okay. So you got to look at it. You got to watch it. We really talked and really, got into each other. Just, we were just real. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But people don't know you're a twin.
Identical.
Because you were talking about not everybody has the same.
Even he and I, we're different anatomical.
Yes, and that's what we were trying to share, with my viewers, that we're twins, but we're different. We're not the same. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
So you're a twin.
Yes.
And you're identical.
Yes, we are.
Identical, and you don't have to say names or it's up to you.
Okay.
But I know you look just like him.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
And people love the fact that Carl and I are twins. You know what I mean? When we do things, oh, they're twins. Oh my gosh, they look. But it's interesting that you said that because that just reminded me that because you're twins doesn't mean that you're the same. But you know what? The mortuary school is a serious thing.
It is, yes.
It's a serious thing because you can't make mistakes.
No.
You can't make mistakes in preparing the deceased. And you corrected me because I said dead body, but I'm listening. You said deceased, so I want to make sure that I correct myself on that. So, what is something that people completely misunderstood about funeral homes?
Something people completely misunderstand about funeral homes. One, I think they believe all funeral directors are morbid. My grandfather wasn't a morbid person. Now, he was called to be a funeral director. Like some people will say, I was born into this or I was born to do this.
Right.
He believed being a funeral director was his calling. From a child, he believed that, he had that calling on his life. So the funeral service is something he always wanted to go into.
Yes.
And that being said, he wasn't a morbid character. Okay. One of the misunderstandings people have about funeral service, and I think it's important for young people to know, is you don't necessarily have to work on the bodies or with the bodies. Most people, most funeral directors, like my grandfather, who started their own business, he did both at one time. He embalmed and he was out front where he, met with families. He directed services. But as you begin to, grow your business, you institute a segregation of duties. And so although you do have to do the anatomical portion, the embalming, while you're in mortuary school, once I've graduated, I stay out front and I work with the clients and work with the families. A lot of times I'll be watching movies and I see gory portions that I'll cringe. And my wife will say, well, what you doing cringing when the blood is coming up on the screen and things like that? And I'm like, well, I don't like the anatomy portion.
Right.
I remember when I went to mortuary school, you have to embalm. You have embalming teams. You have 4 or 5 people in the team.
Right.
And the first case I did, it was a case from the medical examiner's office. And it was, I'm not going to go into details, but it took me back.
Yeah.
And I stepped out of the room. I had to gather myself. And I said, my grandmother, Wanda Coston, bless her soul, she was a petite lady, maybe around 5'1", 5'2". Right. I said, she did this program. Right. She got through it. You go in there and you do what you got to do to get through this program. So she did it.
She had that tough skin.
Right. She did it. She did it. And so, people once again think if you go into the mortuary field, you have to deal with the bodies. Yeah. But you don't. Normally, you're called to do that. You have to be talented. Yeah. You have to really know what you're doing when you're an embalmer. Yeah. I am not an embalmer. For me to say that I am an embalmer would discredit those people who.
Right.
It's an art form. It's a profession.
We hire people to do.
We hire people to do. We have people on our staff.
Yes.
And so anyone who might be interested in a field and funeral profession, because we need people to come into the profession, just like every other line of work. We need people. I need somebody out there who might want to buy my business one day. That future generation, when I'm ready to retire. I don't think so. My son, he's a freshman at Morehouse.
Oh wow!
And he is a creative. He's more in tune with you. He might be coming to buy graphics one day, but he's a creative.
Right.
So I don't really see him too interested in funeral service. Right. Now my youngest is a sophomore in high school, and he has a business mind.
Okay.
But at this time, he says he wants to be an attorney.
Oh, okay.
So neither one of them may not go into business, which is fine.
Right.
But when you look at succession and who's coming up next, you need young people coming behind you so that, one day when I sail off into the sunset, you can have somebody behind you that you can, pass the business along to.
It's funny that you said that. Well, not funny, but it's interesting that you said that. A successor.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple pastors, and bishops and all that on my show. And we talked about death. We talked about how some of our strong leaders in the city of Pittsburgh are dropping dead, literally dropping dead in the pulpit, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about the successor. Who do you have in line to continue the ministry? You know what I'm saying? And I think I brought that up because talk about preparation. What can I do to prepare myself for death? Because it's reality.
Yes.
You got to be prepared.
Yes.
So tell us how we can prepare ourselves.
Yeah. As sure as taxes, there is death.
Exactly.
I'm not going to escape.
Heaven or hell.
I will, walk that road. I will endure that rite of passage. Preparation. I just gave a presentation today in Homewood about, understanding the funeral arrangement process.
Yes.
And I say 2026 is the year of on paper, on purpose. Recently, I had a client, and a lady called me and said, my friend has died here at her home.
Wow.
I know she wants to use your funeral home because she used her for her mother 2 years ago.
Yes.
And she told me that she put everything in an envelope so that I can be prepared to handle the arrangements when she passes away. And now I'm here at her home and she's deceased.
Wow.
And she never gave me the envelope. Oh. I said, darn it. People, we have to be transparent with our affairs.
Yes.
We have to have insurance policies, and people have to know that they're the beneficiary.
Right.
99% of folks are not knocking you off.
Right.
But they need to know that there is a policy to help with your final expenses. So first and foremost, we have to get our papers in order. We have to have our papers.
Yes.
Some of you are employers, whether it's with some of these large corporations in Pittsburgh or some of these national corporations, call them.
Yeah.
Call the benefits department and say, I know I have a policy. I know that's part of my benefit. Send me something in writing. It's not enough to say, my employer has a policy.
Right.
Well, when something happens to you and your family comes to the funeral home, that doesn't work. We need something on paper.
On paper, right.
And most of the time, these companies are telling you, we'll mail the beneficiary something in 7 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days don't work when you're trying to schedule a funeral, you're trying to bring people from out of town, you're trying to make plans. Call your employer, even if you're retired. Ask them to send you something in writing of what the benefit is and who the beneficiary is. So if you're using insurance, make sure you have your beneficiaries updated and make sure you have a policy or something from an employer in writing. If you're a veteran, you need a discharge. What's your next of kin? Who's handling things? Like, we have to be honest. All children may not be handling the business. You might need to identify, and you probably need to identify one child or one family member to say, you're going to handle things. And be transparent about it. You probably need to tell your two or three other children, like, hey, you live in Dallas or you live in Atlanta. She's here with me. I've talked to her.
Yeah.
She's going to be the lead person.
Right.
You know, everybody, you know, sometimes wants to be the chief.
Right.
But sometimes we need some Indians.
You
go get the clothes.
That's right.
You get the pictures together for the obituary. I'm going to the funeral home. I'm going to sign these papers to make sure everything the business is taken care of. So identify next of kin.
Yeah.
So we have get the insurance information together, you know, had a policy.
Right.
Have your beneficiaries updated. If your spouse was the beneficiary and they died, guess what? You need to update your beneficiary.
Update it. What happens?
You need to call.
What happens if that happens that they died and they're still on it?
Yeah. You got a problem.
You
transferred over. Problem. No. It depends.
Unless it's right.
It depends on the insurance company.
Okay.
Some insurance companies, they may say, well, whoever the children are, they can step up and sign it. Some insurance companies say we're going to pay the estate.
Okay.
And that takes time.
Yeah.
You know, and you need to plan this funeral.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
And the estate's not going to get settled for some time. So you need to have your policies updated. So, you know, understanding the process. So you're getting your insurance paperwork together.
Right.
You're identifying who the next of kin. You're having conversations saying, you know, this is what I want. Yeah. So there's no question about it. Like, right. Did she want to be buried or did she want to be cremated? Did she want to go to this cemetery? Did she want to go to that cemetery? Did she, you know, mom really wanted to go to Coston Funeral Home. Right. 427 Lincoln Avenue or 3313 Brighton Road. So we're going to respect mom's wishes. That's where her parents went. Yeah. And finally, you know, you might even want to pre-need where you make an appointment with the funeral home and say, you know what, I'm going to put it on paper. I'm going to put it on purpose at the funeral home so there's no question about what I wanted. Yeah. They just need to show up. Right.
You know, I'm laughing because working with you, I've seen.
Yeah. You've seen it all.
I've seen it, man. I've seen it. Whole spectrum. Like, who's the next kid? Who's the next? You know, family fighting. Yeah. You know, fighting
all
over,
of that.
You know, but you said something that, and I gotta honestly say, and I'm telling the people this: Coston Funeral Home, which is on Lincoln Avenue and Brighton Road. Phenomenal service. And I say that because, and you know, I'm trying not to get teary right now. You took care of mom.
Yes.
You took care of our mom, and she, you know, she was absolutely beautiful. I still have the pictures. And you know, this is strange because you took a picture of her in the casket? I sure did.
You sure did.
Not to remember her that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you guys did a phenomenal job. So Coston's Funeral Home. So all the information you just gave us on how to prepare, you have a website or something that you can give the people to go to and get those documents. There's a lot of information to gather now.
It definitely is. You can visit our website, costonfuneralhome.com, and there are links that says understanding the funeral process. And we have someone called a pre-need counselor. Nice. And our pre-need counselor, you know, he can sit down with you and he can put it on paper. 2026, the year of on paper, on purpose. Yes. There's no mistakes about, you know, what you want or what your wishes are. Put it on paper. We're going to simplify it.
Yeah, it was about divorce, but that holds true to that too. You know what I mean? Put it on paper. Yeah. That's absolutely right. So, who is Roland when he's not working? What does family mean to you?
Well, I've been married this year.
Yes.
Will be 22 years of marriage.
Nice.
So we'll be celebrating 22 years of marriage this year. I am a father. Yes. As I said,
you did.
I was very emotional when I took my son to college. So I have a freshman in college. I have a son that'll be 16 years old tomorrow.
Okay.
He's turning 16. 17. Yeah. He's turning 16 tomorrow, so that's a monumental age.
Yes. Sure is.
I try to golf.
Okay.
I'm a hacker, but I don't play golf enough. Golf is a sport where you have to play it.
Yeah. You gotta keep doing
I'll tell you a story. Guess who got me into golf?
Who?
Or guess who was kind of the final, you know, motivator for me to go play golf?
Please tell me. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Donald Trump.
Oh, God!
So.
Show's over! No.
So this was before he turned into the villain.
Yeah.
He used to have a show called The Apprentice.
I remember. You're fired.
Yeah. You're fired. You're fired.
That was my show, though.
I used to watch it. This is before you.
That's right in that boardroom.
All my friends used to try to get me to go play golf.
Yeah,
But most of them played on Saturday, and I'm, that's a popular day for funerals.
Yeah,
I can't make it out to play golf. I'm doing funerals. So one episode he did at a golf course, and he said, 70% of my deals are done on the golf course. Keep eyes golfing that week. I was golfing that week. So that's about all.
How many of y'all got how many of y'all got plans? Are y'all ready?
Yeah. So after he said that, 70% of my deals are done on the golf course, man. I was golfing before the night. The show was over. That's smart. Calling my friends like, hey, I'm getting somebody else to work that funeral. Yeah. So I'm a hacker. I love the game of golf. But I'm a hacker. Yeah. I'm a big sports fan. Yeah. I love the Pittsburgh Steelers. I love every sport. My wife says, how do you watch golf? I can watch.
How many TVs you got on the wall?
Yeah.
You got one or just you got four? I know somebody who had TVs all over the wall.
Just one. No, I'll flip the channel. No.
Okay.
I'll flip the channel. Yeah, I'm not that bad. But I'm a sports fan.
Good. Did you ever play sports?
Yeah, I was a wrestler. That's at the Morgan State University. I got recruited for wrestling. Okay. I was a wrestler, and I had an academic scholarship. Wow. The wrestling coach said to me, if you score a certain score on your SAT, we'll arrange for you to have an academic scholarship. Mm-hmm. And so I had an academic scholarship at Morgan State University. Wow. And I've been reflecting a lot on life, and wrestling really gave me a competitive drive. It gave me that drive to really want to be successful. Yeah. So I think today I was reflecting on things like, where did that drive come from? I think some of it's just in my DNA from my grandfather. It takes a lot to open up a business. I always say I'm not a first generation business person. Yeah. I'm not an opener. If somebody a founder, right? You have to be someone special to be a founder of a business. He worked 2 jobs. He did the funeral home during the day. Yeah. And he worked a night shift at the post office in the evening. Oh, and then in the mid 80s, he retired from the post office and he dedicated his full time to the funeral home. Wow. But a lot of those people who are originators or that are founders, they do things like that. You got to show up at a lot of churches, kiss a lot of babies, show up at a lot of functions. Me, I'm the type of person or the type of businessman who will come into a business after it has already been established and maintain it and try to grow the business. And so, I tip my hat to my grandfather and those people such as yourself who are founders, your first generation, but that's not really my calling.
Right. It's just funny because, Carl introduced me to the funeral work because he did it. Remember,
he was with us first.
He was with you first. Yeah. And when he brought it to me, I'm like, I was like, no, I'm good. Because he told me the stuff that he did.
Right.
He would go pick up the bodies from the hospital, the nursing homes, the people's homes. It's like, it's like, I said, I don't know. I don't think that's for me. Yeah. But then I said, okay, I'll give it a try. Yeah. So he, because you trained him, you taught him. Mm-hmm. That's what I understand. Yeah. You showed him how to do some things. So then he took me out. Right. After you hired me, and he showed me how to do some things. Yeah. And you have to have you have to have a good spirit. Yeah. You have to be, I'm trying to think of the term that I want to say, but you got to have tough skin.
Right, you do.
Because I walked in the room before where I said, well, no, we can't take this one because of the way that the body turned out to be. But I want to thank you because, that's a different side. For me, it's a different side of the world.
It's not, everyone's not built for it.
No.
I had one time a friend of mine, he said, I want to work for you. I want to work for you. Okay. Keith, we were busy. The day he came in, Keith, we were busy.
I remember
so he came in and we maybe had a funeral and then I had to send him to bring somebody to the funeral home from a hospital or something. Yeah. Then we had to send him out someplace else to do something else. And at the end of the day, he said, woo, I don't think it it wasn't even
this
like
ain't
that.
for
He
me.
said, this ain't for me. I think he thought he was going to be driving a limo all day.
Right.
He said, I don't really think, thank you for the opportunity, but he was wore out at the end of the day. He said, I don't think this is for me. Right. So,
people understand dead weight.
Yeah.
When you're picking someone up, it's dead weight. And it's a lot of work. It's good work because I'm glad that we have that. We have what we call funeral homes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Those who would take care of your loved ones and prepare your loved ones for
it's a calling.
It's a calling.
It's a calling.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is a calling. I must say that. So how do you balance being there for grieving families and being present for your own? How do you balance the two?
One course we took a mortuary school that I certainly appreciate. It was the psychology of grief.
You did mention that, yes.
When I was in school, I was a young man, in my early 20s. Like, what is this course? Psychology of grief? What?
Right.
Give me some in business law or microbiology, psychology of grief. But I remember being in that class like,
right.
Oh my goodness, I never thought of that. And getting in touch with your own emotions.
Yes.
Being able to deal with the complexities of families and what you're dealing with. And actually seeing some of your own family background show up in other families and being able to recognize that.
Yes.
To be able to balance that, it's not always easy.
Right.
Because it's hard to leave some things in the office and say, okay, I'm gonna separate that and then come home and be with my family. It keeps you on your knees.
Yeah.
It makes you hug your loved ones even tighter because
Yes.
you see the tragedies that people deal with.
Yeah,
it's important because people are losing loved ones. You're like, you still have your loved ones.
Yes.
But it makes you appreciate them. And it's
That's
like,
right.
Hey, we're going to celebrate this 16th birthday and we're going to sing happy birthday. And son on Morehouse, you need to call home and be on Zoom or audio FaceTime when we sing happy birthday. Because some people don't make it to 16.
Some people don't make it. Some people don't make it, like you said. Yeah. My son is 17. He'll be 18 this year. Oh, Lord Jesus. I got a 26? Or is she 27? 27. 26. But I really do cherish my children. I cherish my family, my siblings. Although our siblings were not, always constantly in touch with each other. Now, Carl and I are. We're always in touch with each other. You know what I'm saying? I jokingly said on our show when we did our sit down with my twin that he calls me constantly. And if I do not answer, and I don't know if this is how you and your twin are, but if I don't answer the phone, someone's knocking at the door. Yeah. Worried about work. You didn't answer the phone. And these are things that we think about, you know what I'm saying, about our loved ones, And so to have a balance. Yes. But the missus is also in the business. Yeah, she's in the business. So that makes it.
She's a licensed funeral director. She's very involved in the business.
Yes.
So she is co-owner. You mentioned the balance.
Yes.
It is difficult for us to work together in the office.
Yes.
And then you can't cut it off at 5 o'clock and be home. She'll tell me like, "Oh, you thought I forgot about what you said to me earlier today, right? We need to leave the office. In the office ain't no you ain't no leaving the office in the office. I didn't forget.
Right.
Yeah. So
that is funny.
We've had to learn to navigate that.
Yeah.
There's no. Well, listen, I haven't seen a manual of how to navigate how a married couple works together within a business. My grandparents did it. My grandfather was working the post office in the evening. My grandmother, she was the person during the day in the office, handling the office work. And so that's the model that I saw, and that's kind of what my wife and I had instituted. But no, there's complexities to that, and I didn't see that on the front end. After 22 years of marriage and 22 years of being in the business together, I do see that. It's not easy, to work in the business with your wife.
So you're not the type that, because they portray this on TV all the time, but you said you didn't do much of the embalming,
right? That is correct.
But you still deal with the deceased.
Yes, that you have to. You have to. Yeah, I'm not totally hands-on.
Right.
There's no way of getting out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've actually watched, I've watched it. My friend, I don't know if you know Lamar Campbell.
I'm not sure if I do.
I love you, Jesus. I worship and adore. That's his song, and then the song we mime to, which is Grateful.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever you remember Grateful.
Yes, I did.
One day we were in his city.
Okay.
And
Which is what city?
Jesus, I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember. We were in this.
Yeah, well, you've been to a lot of
cities.
Yeah,
we've been all over. I'm gonna have to call Lamar and say, "Where you from again?"
Yeah. Okay.
Remember the time when you? And so this is the story I'm leading into. Is we were? He said, "Come on, guys, I'm gonna take y'all somewhere." Mm-hmm. So we got in this car and we pulled up at a funeral home. Okay. Like, why are we here? Or maybe he's visiting someone. Maybe he lost someone. You know. Yeah. So he took us in the building, and he took us to the back. You know where the back is. Yes. Because y'all have a back.
Yes, he did.
So he took us to the back. And when we went in the back, they were performing.
Embalming. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I was so I was unprepared. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was unprepared to see that, you know. And I don't know, because God works in mysterious ways. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I never knew that I would be working for a funeral home. You know what I'm saying? Which I truly, truly enjoy. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you get older, though, you know, your body starts to...
It starts to fail.
It starts going in different directions.
These old bones,
boy. Yeah. So it's like, I can't carry. Because I remember Carl telling me a story that he had to go. I think it was like a 400-pound person. Mm-hmm. So in those kind of cases, it's like, it's very... different. It's strange.
Yeah, it's taxing. It's not easy.
Yeah,
it's not easy. And Americans are only getting larger.
Yeah. Do you ever deal with, like, when you educate, talk to people about being overweight or because isn't that something we have to consider?
Yeah. I think it's difficult for families to grasp the costs that come with someone being obese.
Yes.
But we in a profession have to help people realize obese people, they're used to paying for an extra fee for everything.
Right.
Whether it's, maybe extra seat on the airplane.
Transportation, yeah.
Whether it's a larger a clothing. They're used to, paying an additional charge because of their size. Right. And then when it comes to funeral services, everything, whether it's extra manpower, whether it's more fluid, whether it's a larger grave, a larger casket, these things are, they begin to add up.
Yeah.
So a lot of families are not expecting that. But then when you explain it to them, they understand.
Yeah.
They understand.
That makes me, I always was told, don't get caught in dirty underwear. Because you never know when your day is, and you have to, it was jokingly said, but that, that's a true statement, but it makes us look at ourselves and say, I want to make sure I take care of myself a lot better, because we have to consider that.
Yes, people do consider that. I mean, mainly ladies will tell me, I'm getting myself together because I don't want to be looking this certain way. Listen, call it vanity or what, but I've heard that line before.
I wouldn't say vanity. I would just, it's smart. It's preparation. You know what I'm saying?
You want to, that obesity is a pathology. Yes. It leads to death. And so it's all about maximizing your years and having quality of life.
Yes, quality of life. Yes, I like that. What lessons are you intentionally pouring into your children?
What lessons? The lessons that were poured into me. Okay. One of which is we don't believe in credit cards.
Oh! Yeah. Uh-oh!
My grandfather used to say, if you don't have it to spend, you can't spend it.
Yeah, that's true. And you got to pay it back.
The blessing in that was when my grandfather passed away, I took over his business.
Right.
At that time, I was, when he passed away, 26 years old.
Okay.
And here at the bank, they have to finance me to acquire my grandfather's business from his estate.
Right.
I never had credit cards or anything. I didn't really have any credit.
Right.
But the banks looked at me and said, you don't have any debt.
Right.
We'll finance you.
Okay.
We'll make it happen.
Right.
And it's because my grandfather had always raised me not to have, not to use credit cards and not to overextend yourself. I never really, at that age in my life, I didn't have any
right.
line of credit. And so the bank looked at me and they said, you're bankable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely, stay away from the credit cards.
So to my kids, stay away from the credit cards. Because I got a couple.
You don't know what opportunity's coming.
Right.
And you have to be ready.
You have to be ready.
You have to be ready. It's that when you have to stay ready.
Yeah.
So, definitely, staying away from, I guess they would say commercial debt or whatever the debt is called.
Because when you die, you still have debt. Is that true?
When
your family picks up your debt.
Well, your estate does. Any assets you have, they will. Yes, any assets you have will be garnered or they will be sought after.
Yes.
Education. I am a firm believer, and you have to at least go to college.
Yes.
We need to decide on a major that's going to be produce some return on investment in choosing a wise college.
Yes.
I don't know why we're going to a liberal arts school that's close to 100,000 when you can go to the state school that's 40,000 or less. Like what are we doing?
Right.
We just ain't throwing away money.
Right.
And I'm asking the people at the $90,000 school, $100,000 school, can you explain the return on investment?
Right.
Really, no. You just want to. You gotta want to go to school here. No, he don't want to. Well, he may want to go to school, but my money's going someplace else.
Right.
So getting a college education, but wise. Selecting a wise school. I teach my kids the finances behind the business.
Yes.
Every year I do a budget, and I bring them into the room, and I explain to them the budget. I explain to them, the revenue. Yes. The expenses. And then the net income that comes from it.
Yes.
The taxes. If they ever were to own the business one day, at least they would understand the income statement.
Yes.
As well as a balance sheet. So that's something that I never really remember my grandfather showing me the financials. I mean, he grew up during the Great Depression. That generation,
right?
They were, that was a little bit of secretive generation. They wasn't exposing everything to you. Not everything. But we have evolved, and so I bring my kids and sit down. You need to see this budget. This is what we anticipate for making this year. This is what we anticipate our margin to be. Right. And if you were to ever own this business, this is what you should anticipate your margin to be. And if it's ever less than this amount, then you need to be doing some soul searching, or asking some questions as to why the margin isn't what Dad should be. Said the margin should be.
Yes. Mom taught us well. Mom Inez. And what folks don't know is that we're related, not by blood, but we're related, right?
Right.
I mean, mom was such, she used to have the insurance guy come to the house.
Yeah, those are the days. Good old days.
She would
nickel policies.
Right, to check out. And we didn't understand this when we were kids. Like, who's this man that keep coming getting a check, picking up a check? Yeah. And so one day she explained to us, I'm preparing myself. Well, she was very well prepared. I thought so. You know what I mean? But every time that insurance man came to the house, we was like, what's this all about? But then we found out she had insurance for us too.
Yeah.
Like, wow, she was really, really well prepared. And that's something that we as people should do, because
that's the history of our people. Yeah, that's the history of our people. Through the years, families used to bring like little payment books where they used to record their payments.
Yes.
And they bring that book when you're right. You would have mama, you would have her husband, and you had the kids, and you can see the payments for every one of them. And I would tell families, keep this, because she got a policy on you. Like, she do. Yeah, your name's listed right here. Yeah. So I mean, I miss them days.
Yeah.
I mean, our people, there's certain pillars that our people believed in, and having insurance was one of them.
Yeah, it really was. I remember when I bought a TV. I can't remember the finance company, but they had the coupons that you had to, even with your vehicles back now. I don't know if they do that now, because you could pay electronically and do all this now. But that coupon thing was, it just brought me back.
I honestly believe our ancestors did more with less.
Yes.
They ain't had no GoFundMe.
No.
But they was handling business, man.
They had it straight.
And listen. Folks got buried. It wasn't about getting cremated or,
what's that?
mausoleum. They like, listen, so they were coming out with money.
Yeah.
But back then there was less money in our community.
You're right.
Folks back then did more with less.
Yes. That's good. That's good. That's good. We're going to take a break. We take a quick break real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Roland Criswell. I'm enjoying the conversation. I hope you are too. This is Empire Talk. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
If you're ready for inspiration, if you're ready for transparency, if you're ready for something different, subscribe to Graphics Empire Design, where Empire Talk lives, only on YouTube. New content, bold conversations, kingdom creativity, new episodes, real impact. Welcome to the Empire. Are you looking for great conversation? If so, Empire Talk is where real stories meet real voices. Hosted by Keith Edmonds, featuring powerful sit-downs that inspire, challenge, and connect. New episodes every month. Subscribe now on YouTube at Graphics Empire Design. This is Empire Talk.
It's not coming. It's not loading. It's live. A Sit Down with Keith has officially premiered. This isn't hype. This is truth. This is transparency. Watch Keith open up about life, faith, family, being a father, a twin, the trials, the victories, and everything in between. No filters, no masks, just real conversation. Go watch it now on YouTube. Search Graphics Empire Design. Click, watch, experience the sit down. A Sit Down with Keith, streaming now. This is Empire Talk.
Every story has power. A sit down with the model.
Yes, there's a lot of challenges. I know I can honestly say one of them was the death of my daughter.
A sit down with Keith.
Becoming a father really changed me. Fatherhood taught me responsibility beyond myself. Everything I do now carries legacy weight. I'm not just raising children, I'm shaping futures.
A sit down with the Daysman, David Brock.
I always tell them, whatever you do, don't damage God's people.
Right.
You have to live so that your life is above reproach.
A sit down with my twin.
No, we were twins. Yeah. The judge said we're not going to separate these two.
Yeah.
We're not going to separate the twins. We're going to keep them together. That's what the judge said.
And now, coming April 11th, a sit down with the messenger, Apostle Annette Carswell.
There's an expectation that everyone in leadership or in church is repaired, restored, revived, all is well,
right.
And we should just be happy as Lords.
A message that will shake you, shift you, and change you. This is more than a show. This is Empire Talk. Subscribe now. New episodes, real conversations, meet powerful stories.
Hi, I'm Bobby Jones, and you're watching Empire Talk with my friend Keith Edmonds.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Empire Talk with my guest, Roland Criswell. We're having such a great conversation, guys. So we're going to go right back into it. Come on, everybody, help me welcome Roland Criswell. I have to take a little break. Man. So I appreciate you being here once again. Thank you so much. So back to the questions, Roland.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you this question. What's one of the most touching services you've ever been a part of?
I will say the most touching service was not, really a service that I want to remember.
Okay.
I am a very Black consciousness. I love our people.
Yes.
I want to see us as a people be great, do great.
Yes.
And so when I see some of the sociological ills, it doesn't crush me, but it really makes me ponder about our existence as Black people in America and what our future is.
Yes.
So I had a service at Covenant Church of Pittsburgh.
Yes, yes.
And I was a young man who had died, a victim of a violent crime. And I remember standing at the casket, and his children's mother had two of his children. One of the children was about probably 5 years old. And I'm thinking this child is, has to process their father dying at 5 years old. That dad was here last week, and now I'm looking at dad dead.
Wow.
And the mother was holding another child who was a baby. And I said, and here you have a child who will never know their father.
Right, right.
That was tough.
Yeah.
And so when we closed the casket, I left the church and I sat in my car outside of the church and I said, God, I need a timeout.
Yeah.
I cannot continue to do these victims of violent crimes. Because I had a few of them in a short window. And I'm doing services where people I grew up with who maybe died at a young age, 19, 20, 21. And here I am burying some of their children.
Right.
Children they had before they died. And now I buried your father, now I'm burying you. And I'm seeing a cycle of destruction in our community. I am seeing the child that I'm burying now, their child.
Yeah.
And I'm mentally planning this out, like, you know, what's gonna happen in this next generation? You know, where do we break the cycle? So that experience at Covenant Church of Pittsburgh, I left the church, I said, God, I need a time out.
Yeah.
And he gave me some time. There were some months went by where I was able to not really have to do a service for someone who was a victim of a violent crime because I mentally, I was worn out of seeing the death and destruction within our community at that time.
Wow. You know, you mentioned something about taking a moment, you know, that goes back to saying you're human.
Yeah.
You're human yourself, but you have to put on this, I don't want to say facade, this presence.
Yes,
you got to put on
do.
the presence about yourself when you're dealing with.
It's not always easy.
It's not always easy.
It's not, you have to get through it. My grandfather used to say, you have to be strong.
Yes.
For the family. Sometimes when families are having services, I'm tore up inside.
Yeah, yeah,
like at that instance at Covenant Church, I was a mess.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's not like I went into my car and God said, "You are blessed, son. Here's the anointing. Go back and finish the funeral." No, I had to finish that funeral out. It was tough.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm dealing with clients, and you have to be patient with them because you know what they're going through and the complexity and all of that, you know, that has happened to lead up to this moment. And you're only dealing with them for a short moment, but you know, there's history here.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel for people.
Yeah.
You know, and as my grandfather used to say, somebody's got to be strong.
Somebody's got to be strong. Yep.
You got to walk them through this.
Right.
You know?
Right. You got to see them through this. And it's
through.
tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
They need you. They need to lean on you to get this done, bro.
Right. Right. Yeah. You had mentioned closing the casket. Yeah. You know, you've taught me how to close the casket.
Yeah.
You taught me how to go to the family and say, hey, you know, do you want to be present when we close the casket? Because many people react differently.
Yes, they do.
You know what I'm saying? That's a hard moment. That was for me, that was one of the most hardest moments for me was watching, you know, the family see their loved one one last time as the casket is closed.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that, because that's the last time you're going to see them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we know they're not here.
Right.
We know their spirit is gone. You know, it's just their shell. You know, but to see that casket slowly close, because you do it with so much
intentionality. One of the things I do, Keith, is, and I know, as I'm standing in front of that casket, I shift. The reason I shift is because if the wife is behind me and I'm standing there the whole time, what's her glimpse of her husband? Or is it the glimpse of my backside?
Gotcha.
So I need to shift
to
give her a view.
Yeah.
If when I shift to my left, and maybe her son is standing next or sitting next to her. Now, what's his view?
Right.
You know, I mean, they might. I'm only might shift for 3 or 4 seconds, but I make sure I'm shifting so that people can get that final view. So it's very intentional.
Wow, that's good. I never thought about that.
It's thought. I think. Well, you're mainly at the foot of the casket, but as the lead funeral director, I'm at the head, and they're focused on the person. So I've trained you to do what you do down there, but me on my end, as the lead funeral director, I'm very intentional. Like I need to make sure people have a good view of their loved one, one last view.
Makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense, and that's so thoughtful of you. You know what I mean?
It's
that's so considerate.
Yeah.
You know, which is what makes Coston Funeral Home Coston. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You guys do great work. You know, and I can truly say that we've been blessed by Coston Funeral Home.
Thank you.
Keith. Yeah. And people, you know, when they ask, they might call us and say, "Who you got any recommendations?" Coston Funeral Home.
Yeah.
You know. And I really, really mean that.
Yes, I know you did.
Like
I know you did.
You took care of mom. Y'all did really, really great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know I might have to call you once or twice, but I know who I can call 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, 8, 9. Even if it's Keith, I need you to go over there and make sure ain't nobody broke into my building. Well, you know, I know we folks don't know the relationship we got. Right. Keith said I need you on the show. I'm there.
Yeah, and I can do. You know, I'm there.
Yeah,
I know I've done it.
Yeah,
I've walked that. You know, when you say go check the funeral, make sure nobody broke in it, right? I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna take my, you know what?
Right. That's why I send you.
Right. Because people don't like walking around in the dark in the funeral home. So it was funny because Sam.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sam is hilarious because he's very like
he's Sam.
He's Sam.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna make that. He's just dramatic, But it just made me think about that. So yeah, it's very, very. Those are sad moments when you see that, a tragic situation. You had me pick up people from the coroner's office who has been in a difficult, tragic situation. So, but what do we do in those situations? Like, I know, be there for the family. What do we say to them? What do we?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked.
Yes.
I'm going to start off with not to say.
Okay.
You never want to make it about you. You want to keep the focus on the next of kin. So the cliche terms of I know how you feel.
Oh gosh.
When you lost your mother,
right?
You cannot say you know how Carl feels.
Right. That's
Carl
true.
had a different relationship with his mother than you did.
Right.
Keith had his relationship with mom.
Right.
Carl had his relationship.
Right.
You don't know how Carl feels.
That's right.
So for somebody to say, I know how you feel.
Right.
You really don't. Because be careful now.
Yeah.
Because you don't know the relationships people have.
That's true. You're right. That's good.
When there's issues within the family, folks don't know.
Family
but family dynamics. I really go to the people who I'm dealing with to blame. Sometimes the issues is with the person who's dead. Right. The issue. Come on now.
That's true.
So you don't know how somebody feels because you don't know the background. You don't know how they feel.
That's true.
So never say I know how you feel.
Wow.
Or never say, I lost my mom.
Yeah. Right.
This isn't your mother.
This isn't your mother.
This is their mother.
Right.
That's one of those psychology of grief things we learned in the psychology of grief. So you want to say, what can I do to support you?
Okay.
How can I support you? And they'll tell you,
less is best.
Yeah, less is best. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know right now. Let me think about it. I'm getting myself together. They may say send some flowers, bring a pan of chicken.
Right.
You might be quick to want to do something, but ask them.
Yeah.
How can I support you?
Yeah, that's good.
During this time.
Yeah.
Where do you want me at? What do you want me to do? How do you want me to show up?
Yeah.
Love on them. Sometimes it's being a presence.
Yeah.
Just being there.
So this is what we call funeral etiquette.
Yes.
Etiquette.
Absolutely.
You gotta have etiquette. You
gotta have etiquette.
You know what I'm saying? Like me as a pastor, when we go visit someone at the hospital, we have to have we have to do certain things, and there's certain things you can't do.
Right.
You can't go in there sitting on the bottom of the bed, sitting on the bed with, I don't care how much you're there on an official business. You're there on official, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so it's the same with, because I remember we were we were working a funeral.
Okay.
And you said, Keith, button your jacket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that or not, but you probably told me more than once because I like to keep it.
But as I thought, I said that's something I would say. That I don't remember necessarily saying to you, but that's me.
Yeah, that's something you
I'm
said.
gonna need you to button that blazer, brother.
When you said that, I was like, okay, and I'm thinking, why? At first, but I'm like, well, he the boss, so button that jacket.
My grandfather used to say, this is a coat and tie business.
A what?
A coat and tie
business.
I remember one day, one hot summer day in July, we were driving to Monumental Baptist Church, and my grandfather was chairman of the trustee board, 2240 Wiley Avenue, coming from East Liberty.
Yeah.
And hot summer day, and we're driving in the car to the funeral, and I hung my suit coat in the back seat. He said, "Put on your coat." He said, "Put on your coat."
Put on your coat.
We're on our way to the state. We are on our way to the church. We haven't got to the church yet. This is a coat and tie business, boy. Put on your coat.
Put on your coat.
Okay, Papa, let me pull over here and Frankstown Avenue and put on his blazer. But it's funeral etiquette. It's a coat and tie business.
Wow. Yeah, that's very important, man. But you're right. Where people, they just come in and they just, I know how you feel, and when it's really easy to say, you have my condolences. Yeah.
Keep it less. Yes, I love you.
Yeah,
I love you. Whatever I can do for you. Yeah, social compassion.
Right.
Yeah.
Woo, this is good, y'all. Yeah, because people don't know the funeral business. They don't know. Yeah. A lot of times they don't know who's behind it.
Yeah.
Who's. So this is Roland, y'all. Roland Criswell.
The one and only.
The one and only.
No, Roland J. Criswell. There's a Roland Criswell, my father, and there's a Roland Andrew Criswell, my son.
Right.
The one and only Roland.
The one and only.
J. Criswell.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's beautiful. I love it. So have you witnessed reconciliation, healing, or forgiveness at funerals? You ever see that quite often?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Funerals are times where families come together.
Yeah.
And as I said before, a lot of background that only surfaces at funerals. What I always say, funerals are sometimes, the few times, people might be led to Christ. We're in a generation where a lot of people don't go to church. I don't want to put a percentage on it, but a lot of people don't go to church.
Right.
And so we're very intentional about who we might select for you as clergy. We ain't calling everybody.
Right.
Because this is not the time for you to be, becoming or talking about something you really don't know about.
Right.
As far as, someone's, leading them to Christ.
Yeah.
And so we're intentional on who we call.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
When you're intentional, you see people who, that reconciliation comes.
Yes.
That, maybe giving their life to Christ comes. I don't mind at a funeral when we, preacher be like, is it okay we take 5 to 10 minutes? Go take 5 to 10 minutes. Look at these souls saved.
Right, get them saved.
These souls up in this church right here, right now. This family right here, they need it.
They need it. Every single one of them.
They need it. I had a funeral recently out of church. Mm-hmm. Lady, I'm outside, they're in the church doing the funeral. I'm outside doing what I need to do, in preparation for the funeral ending. The lady gets out of her Uber with a red cup. And swerving to the church. I said, she said, I'm late, but I'm here. I said, yeah. I said, he just started preaching and you going up in there because you need it. She said, I know I do. I said, I need it too, sis.
Right.
She said, yeah. I said, but you can't take that cup in there. She said, I know. I said, but there's a garbage at the front door.
Right.
Put it in the garbage. Yeah, I'm
right.
gonna just put it
on your way in.
On your way, put it
right.
in. But she needed that word.
Yeah, right.
But I was able to say it to her in a way where we just laughed about it.
Yeah.
I see folks. I see it all. I see it all.
Paper bags, that.
Paper bag, yeah. Folks coming to the funeral home with clear liquid. This is water. No, it ain't. No fluid allowed in the funeral home. I remember we had our carpet cleaned and they said, what's going on up in here? I said, why? They said, well, the fumes that are coming up from the carpet,
Yeah.
you know, folks drinking more than water up in there. So
Yeah.
that's why, you know, when
Yeah.
people come, oh, this is my water cooler, this is my
Right.
water tumbler.
Right.
We're gonna have to have you leave it at the front door because we've had those
If
experiences.
we were strict about anything, it would be you cannot eat or drink
Yeah.
inside. And I used to always tell people to the gentleman, please remove your for the respect of the family. You know, as they were coming in. Things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Now, I know they're coming to see their loved one and they probably don't want to hear, you know, don't tell me what to do and all that kind of stuff. You know, but I always told people, you know, when your house you do you do you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just there's a way that you do it. There's a way that you do it. Etiquette.
Yeah.
Going back to etiquette.
Yes,
So that's
yes.
that's excellent. People need to know about etiquette at a funeral.
Yes, they do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And so I want to go a little deeper, okay, about you. All right.
Yes.
So Roland, what's a failure that you went through that nobody really knows about?
I would say dropping out of college at Morgan State. I had a full scholarship.
Wow.
that I walked away from.
Out.
And I dropped out. It was time.
Okay.
It was time for me to come home. But
it
that's
was time for you to drop out?
It was time for me to drop out. I needed to come home. I needed to regroup.
Okay.
Well,
you were how old then?
This was around 1998.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was around 20.
So
yeah, 20.
I'm older than you.
Yeah.
Am I older than you?
So,
I'm 52.
Yeah, I was born in 77.
Okay, 73.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, this is after maybe around 1998.
Okay.
So that was a failure. There's been some business ventures that I've gone into that people don't know, but I learned just like the college experience. I needed to drop out of college and realize I needed to get back in
college. Right.
Here I am with a full scholarship and I'm dropping out. And then when I go back, here I am paying for it. And listen, I was paying for it back by that time. Like I said, I was working at Dingbats. I had, decided to go to
Dingbats, what's that?
Dingbats restaurant in Waterworks. There used to be, it was Damon's, the barbecue place, and there was Dingbats. And there's a restaurant there now. But yeah, I worked at Dingbats in the kitchen there. I was like the express guy or the chefs. They finished the food, put it up, and I dressed the food, put the lettuce and the tomatoes and the pickles. And you have to know like what with the main entree, what goes with it. You know, with this goes the coleslaw, with this goes fries goes with this versus it's chili or whatever. And
not
so
really knowing that you were being prepared for this kind of work.
Not knowing. No.
I mean, that's just ironic how the things you would do. Like it just
you had
hit
to
me
you
a
had
little
to
bit.
be you have to be exact.
Yeah.
Because what that menu says, it has to go out the way that menu says it's prepared.
I agree.
And get it right. Like
tell me what the picture look like.
But they trained me and I caught it. Like, okay, I can put this together. I have a photo mind. And if you tell me how this plate is supposed to look, that the baked potato is supposed to go with the steak, I can make sure the baked potato. And so I had that express line down. I forgot exactly the term they call it when the food comes out of the kitchen. You prepare it to go out. And then those waiters will be on you.
Maybe
I asked for extra so and you have to get it right with the ticket because you messing up their money now.
Maybe y'all can leave it in the comments. We don't know what
the line is. Whoever preps
because I watch Gordon
they prep the
a lot.
food to go out to waiters.
To go out to
and they love me the waiters because I usually bounce. I got this stuff
right.
And so working in the restaurant after dropping out of college, which was a failure for me, dropping out of college, and then, some business ventures I've had that weren't as successful as I thought maybe they would be. I learned, I am someone to grow a business. I'm not necessarily a founder. I'm not someone who's going to. That's not my calling. That's not my work. And there's people who are founders, first generation.
Yes.
That ain't me.
That ain't you.
Yeah, let me buy a business.
Right.
And scale it up. I'm not a founder.
So speaking of buying a business, where are you now?
Well, I own funeral homes and properties in Chicago as well as Pittsburgh. So, I'm not a big real estate developer, but I do have a little bit of real estate.
Yes.
And I own a Cage Memorial Chapel Funeral Home on the south side of Chicago.
Yes.
It's in the South Shore.
Beautiful.
It is Chicago's premier funeral home.
Wow. I've seen the pictures. I didn't go on the field trip when Danielle went. I didn't get to go. But maybe one day I will. Not just to be able to tour. Because Chicago and Pittsburgh, what's the difference?
It's cold to cold. Always flying cold to cold. So sometimes cold to colder.
Yeah, I know. Chicago can get really cold.
Man, Keith, we from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, right. We can have it.
Always say, it is Chicago. Man, cold is cold. Pittsburgh might be 25 and Chicago might be 15. It's cold.
Right, but we got bipolar weather here. 1 minute is 83 degrees. Next thing you know, it's below zero. So I get it. But in terms of funeral work, is it different in Chicago?
It's different. I mean, it's different. Yeah, they have their different traditions.
Okay.
The Chicago people are from a different part of the South.
Yeah,
they're from mainly the mid section of the South. So you're talking a little bit of Alabama.
Okay.
A lot of Mississippi. I think they used to call the South Side Little Mississippi.
Little Mississippi.
Yeah, there's so many folks from the South Side. From Mississippi, and when I bought the business, my godfather said to me that I bought the business from my godfather. He said to me, the South Side ain't nothing but a big country town.
Right.
So in Chicago, they used to have clubs of where people were from.
Wow.
So once again, I said Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. They followed the railroad lines.
Yeah.
So the railroad lines came up from that area in the South to Chicago. Yeah. And they used to have clubs like the Natchez, Mississippi Club. Or the Baton Rouge Club, where everybody from Baton Rouge got together and they brought their traditions with them.
Yeah. Wow.
Keith, I've never done so many Catholic services
in
Chicago as I've done in my life.
Is that like in and out?
Well, there's a lot of Black Catholics in Chicago.
Okay.
They have those Louisiana roots and the French settled Louisiana at one time and they were Catholic.
Yeah.
And so you have a lot of Black Catholics, but that's just one difference. They have something called a final review.
Oh.
Whereas in that, don't be trying to bring this to Pittsburgh. This is Chicago. This is not Pittsburgh. They have a final review.
Talk from all over, you know that.
I know, but don't bring. Okay, understood. So you Chicago folks and Midwest folks, know you know what I'm talking about. The final review is they open up the casket again at the end of the service.
Wow, yeah.
And so you can have a final review where people will walk up again to the casket.
Pittsburgh couldn't handle that.
No. We closed that at the beginning. Yeah. Right.
You just pull them out of there.
Yeah. So that's one distinct difference between Chicago and Pittsburgh. That final review. Yeah.
And that's something that you do?
Well, if the family asks for it, and most families ask for it.
Do you normally recommend? No.
Well, you're right. Yeah. Most of our clients, they will agree to have their final review at the beginning of the funeral.
Okay.
But when you go to churches, and churches have their, my godfather who sold me the business in Chicago would say, when we're at the church, it's the pastor's house.
Right.
His house, his rules.
Right.
When we're at Cage,
hello.
This is Cage's
That's
house.
Right. That's right.
Cage's rules.
Right.
And so at Cage, we encourage people to have their final review at the beginning of the funeral.
Right.
Versus when we're at churches, it's whatever the pastor allows.
Right.
If he wants to also open the casket again.
So you do this in the pre-arrangements. Is that when you announce, hey?
Yeah. So when we're sitting down, meeting with families, we have something called an order of service.
Okay.
And that's how the funeral is going to flow. And we let them know, you're going to have the funeral here at the funeral home. And this is the order of service we recommend. Now, a lot of families are used to the tradition of having a final review at the end when everything's over. We encourage you to have it on the front end.
Right.
And most families, they understand. A lot of families don't want that casket open to get.
No.
A lot of families don't.
I wouldn't want that, especially after the service.
Yes.
After you did.
It's different. It's a different tradition there.
It sure is. Leave me closed, y'all.
Don't open it back.
Open it back, son. Leave it closed.
Leave it closed.
Oh, gosh. Was there ever a time you doubted yourself or wanted to quit?
Yes. Like yesterday, I'm just joking. It's I have a business coach.
Okay.
And I said to him before, growing up, I saw my grandfather meeting with families and directing services. I didn't see all this behind the scenes stuff as far as dealing with employees.
Yeah.
I didn't see all the behind the stuff as far as, dealing with government agencies regulations and things. And I said, one time to my business coach, I got to do it all. I got to, as a small businessman, you have to do HR, you have to do legal, you have to do taxes, you have to do payroll, you got to direct the funeral, you got to, arrange for stuff. I said, I didn't sign up for all this. And he said, and my business coach said, toughen up. As a small business owner, this is what you have signed up for.
Wow.
You have to do it. You don't have the staff to, hire people to do all these things. As you grow, you can hire people to do this. But, I did not really realize that that's what I was stepping into when I was beginning to scale and grow my business. My business coach, he helped me to see, like, Roland, what's it going to be? Either you're going to do it, or you're going to, you're not going to do it. You're going to, maybe sell this business, or you're going to stay small and not do it. You got to decide what you want.
You got to decide. Yeah. Well, a lot of us don't have coaches.
Yeah.
So, what direction can you tell the people, if they're thinking about quitting?
Right.
What encouraging word can you give somebody about? If you about to quit.
Yeah.
What you,
this
is where that minister come in.
Who is it that you lean on? For me, it's my spouse.
Yeah. That's good.
If I'm about to quit, or I want to quit, I will maybe say that to her. I say, honey, can you come into my office, please? Let's rethink some things.
Right.
And she'll say, okay. She'll listen.
Yeah.
She'll say, you need a Snickers. And sometimes I do. Because sometimes it's just in the heat of things.
Yeah.
Keith, you're like, I'm dealing with this.
Yeah.
That these folks is walking in unannounced, and we're supposed to drop
right.
And just, go see what they want. And, I guess had this dropped on my desk. And, I don't want to deal with all this.
Yeah.
I'm ready to pack it up, baby.
Right.
Pack it in. Let's retire and move to Florida.
Yeah.
Of course you won't.
You're rolling with 3 funeral homes.
Yes.
That's a lot of pressure. That could be a lot on you.
And employees and real estate and things.
Wow.
And she won't necessarily eat a Snickers. She'll say, okay, give me what I need to do.
Right.
And she'll say, what's next?
Okay.
What prioritize? What do you have to do next?
Like
Those other things you'll get to later in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
One thing at a time. You can't. The best way to eat an elephant is a bite at a time.
Ooh,
and sometimes
eat an elephant.
Yeah.
Lord.
Sometimes it can seem like you're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And you just got to take a time out.
Yeah.
And my wife will ground me and say, one bite at a time.
One bite.
You can't get to everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can't eat elephant all in one day.
Mm-hmm.
One bite at a time. And some things might have to wait till tomorrow. And you might have to tell some folks that, like, I got to get to you tomorrow because there's other things that are higher on that priority list.
Yes, I agree. Quitting is not an option for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the attitude I always have for myself. There's been times where I wanted to quit, but I'm not quitting.
Mm-hmm.
Quitting is just absolutely not in my vocabulary. Well, I'm human. I get it.
Yeah.
But I
even Jesus said, "Take this cup from me." If you will,
right.
Take this cup from me. God said, "No, you got to drink from that.
You got to drink from that cup." Yeah, that's right. So I get it. But for people who thought about giving up, don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. It's
like Roland said, go find someone that your next loved one, someone that cares for you, who will give you good advice.
Good advice.
You know what I'm saying? Don't go to nobody and be like, girl, no gossipers, none of that. You need minister too. So go to your pastor, go to them, but don't quit.
Yeah.
Don't quit. So that's what he's saying, y'all. Roland has a lot on his plate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I appreciate you being here today. Yes, I really do. People now in this show can kind of get an understanding or more understanding of what it takes to be a leader in the funeral business. Because that's what you are. You're a leader in this business. And it's not all what people don't see the behind the scenes stuff. Mm-hmm. Like the stuff I saw, working at the funeral home. It's like, wow, and you got to see so many different people. And you got to see so many people with different it was just like they were all different. You get one family that comes in, they're this way.
Yes.
Another family comes in, they're that way.
Yes.
And then the other family come in, you got to hire 9 securities and cops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you've never had that moment though, have you? Where they fought, where the casket tipped over and all that. Because you see all that now on social media, and you see all of that.
That was a rare occasion.
Yeah, that's just way too much.
Way too much.
way too much. But you're usually well prepared.
You got to be proactive. You got to be proactive. You don't want to be reactive. You got to see the dynamics and prepare for the dynamics.
Right. So that's good. That's good. What message would you give to someone who is grieving right now? Mm-hmm. What message would you give them?
I would say for them to really be in the moment. Mm-hmm. There's no set formula or time for you to grieve.
That's good.
Some people, it might take them a week to go through the process. Wow. Some people 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Our society says you get 3 days off of work and you got to be back to work. Like you're supposed to be healed.
Right.
No, it'll get easier in time.
Right.
But you're allowed to grieve. This is your moment to grieve. A funeral is the acceptable time to grieve.
Right.
So really grieve. Mm-hmm. Take it all in. Don't hold it back.
Yeah,
like you got to get this out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like you said, everybody grieves differently.
Yes.
They grieve differently. And, it's so funny how sometimes when you go to funerals and you look at people, and sometimes it doesn't even seem like they're grieving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because they have to put on this facade. They have to put on this face like, I'm going to be strong. But like you said, they get home. Mm-hmm. It could be their spouse. They wake up in the morning and notice they're gone.
Yeah.
That could be right when they grieve, when they notice, oh my gosh. So that is so true. Because I know some people who have done that.
Well, let's revisit. You said what not to say to people. I hate when I hear folks say, don't cry. Be strong. Be strong for your
Be
mother.
strong.
But wait, because my dad died in my mom's mourning, I can't mourn.
Right.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Be strong.
No, this ain't the time. You better cry.
Yes.
Be strong.
Yes.
Let the Undertaker be strong for you.
Let it out.
Let it out.
Let it out. Because that right there, crying, I haven't cried in a while, but that's a release.
It's a release.
It's a release, and it helps.
It is.
It really does help.
It
so
does.
If you could tell people one thing about life before it's too late, what would it be?
Be happy.
Nice.
Be happy. There's a lot to unpack with that.
Yeah.
But you have to find your happiness.
That's true.
And be happy.
I like it. Be happy. Be happy. Happiness is, would you say?
We're the same age. Mm-hmm. Don't worry.
Be happy.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah, that was my song.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't worry. Worry can drive you to your grave.
It can. Yeah, worry can kill you.
Worry can kill you. Stress can kill you.
Yes,
so don't worry. Be happy. You heard it from Roland, y'all. Now, this is a man that's around grief all the time.
All the time.
All the time. And look at him. He don't even look like it. Got a big smile on his face. He's happy because he knows he can separate the two. Mm-hmm. He's got a family. He's got children, a wife he goes back home to. And you have other family members and friends that you have rolling time. You ever have the rolling?
Oh, yeah. I hang out with the guys.
The guys.
We go watch the basketball games and we get together, just the guys. And then we go out with our spouses. We go to dinner. You got to find that balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to find balance in life between, you can't be all work.
Yeah.
You got to have balance.
Got to have balance. Yeah. That's great. Got to have balance, y'all. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so true. You got to have me time.
Yes.
Have some me time, and that's very, very important to have me time. Mm-hmm. I need some me time.
Yeah.
I'm like sooner than later. I need some me time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
You got to take a vacation too.
As they say, it's hard out there for a pimp or something like that, they say.
Yeah, you got to take a vacation too.
I'm taking more than one.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a couple. I need a couple, you know what I'm saying? You know where I'm talking about. Yeah. I need more than one, you know what I'm saying? What has been the most difficult moment you've experienced in this field?
The most difficult moment I've experienced was the succession from my grandfather to me. I was a young man.
Yeah.
I started managing the company in 2002, and I had to grow up quick because I was young and I knew that people would look at me and say, "Who is this?
Who is this? Right.
Who's this kid? Where's Samuel Coston at?
Right.
He came here to see Sam Coston," and I knew I had to put on I had to put on the appearance that I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing, but I had to make sure clients felt comfortable with me, that they could trust me to conduct the services. Not everybody knew I was Sam Coston's grandson.
Right.
But those who did know, they were comfortable with me.
Mm-hmm.
But the succession plan from dealing with clients, making sure they felt comfortable with me. And then as far as just, the family dynamics of a family-owned business, we had our own family dynamics as well.
Right.
Dealing with, staff who, saw this young man coming into the business, and I'm old enough to be your father now.
Right.
Down Sam Coston put you in charge?
Right.
I'll be. That wasn't easy for them.
Right,
So just dealing with those dynamics, it was tough to succession plan from my grandfather to me.
Wow, that's great. I tell you, this has been absolutely wonderful. I sat down and I said, who will be my next guest? I thought about it, you know what I'm saying? And I prayed about it. And, I'm trying to do more of that, about who I have on the show. And you came to mind like that. I was like, this is something that people need to hear.
Okay.
They need to hear, funeral business, what it takes. And they need to hear from the man who I'm telling you, you are absolutely phenomenal at what you do.
Thank you, Keith.
Especially dealing with the family and dealing with the people. Not everybody can handle people.
Right.
Can't deal with the people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's beyond the education.
Right.
That's just who you are. You know what I'm saying? And who you grew up around. And your grandfather and all of the lessons that you learned as a child. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that came from that. And you're very, very professional with them. I've seen it because I work with you, and looking at you, I could even, I can say that I'm proud to know that, I was proud to work with you. Let me say that because like I said, there were some things that I had to still learn, you know what I mean? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with people.
Yeah, okay.
People aren't.
Yeah. People are complex.
Sometimes people don't like people, if you want to be real. Some people just, and you have to learn how to turn that around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
you
still
do
learning.
that very well.
I'm still learning, Keith.
You're still learning, but you know what I'm saying? Like you said, you have those moments when you go to the car, you go to your office, you go to your space, woosah. And then go back out and you service the people.
Yes, sir.
That's what you do, and you do it very well.
Thanks, Keith.
So once again, thank you so much for being on Empire Talk. This is the talk show that's going to blow up. I'm telling you, it's going to go higher and higher.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm going to keep going.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to keep flowing, and I'm going to keep giving people what they want.
Yes, sir. That's what it's about, man.
That's what it's about.
It's about, brother.
They wrote me, and they said, you got to do a show with your brother. So that's when I decided, I'm going to sit down with my twin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I wanted to do a sit down with Roland Criswell.
Thanks, cuz.
And I wanted people to know who you were.
Yes, sir. Thank you for letting people peek through the veil. Of Mr. Roland Criswell. Roland J. Criswell.
That's right, Jay. You sound like
gotta get the J.
Red Fox. Sound like him. Period. So Roland Criswell, y'all. Coston Funeral Home. Here's their website at the bottom of the screen. You can see it. If you got any questions or if you have some concerns, you got a loved one that you've lost, Coston Funeral Home is the best place to go. I'm telling you. I've experienced it for myself through my loved one. So, I appreciate, once again, you being here. Thank you, Roland. And, this is Empire Talk, y'all. And I'm telling you, just look for the next show, y'all. It's going to be great. But this one right here is going to be Talk of Town, y'all. That's right, a sit down with Roland Criswell. I'm your host, Keith. This is Empire Talk. Peace. Wow, conversations like this, they stay with you. Because at some point, we all have to face the reality that was talked about here today. Life is not as long as we think. Time is not as guaranteed as we assume. And while we spend so much of our lives chasing things that won't last, we often overlook the things that really matter the most. The phone calls we don't make, the words we don't say, the time we don't give. So today was more than just a conversation. It was a reminder to slow down, a reminder to be present, a reminder to appreciate the people in our lives while we still have them. Because in the end, titles fade, money comes and goes, success looks different when you're looking back at your life. But what remains is love, is impact, is legacy. So the question becomes, what are you leaving behind? What will people say about you? How will you be remembered? Don't wait for a moment that you can't change. Go ahead, y'all. Just make the call. Fix the relationship. Say, I love you. Live with intention, starting now. Because one day, it will be your name. One day, it will be your story, your legacy being remembered. This has been Empire Talk. And this was a sit down with the one and only Roland Criswell.
Real conversations, unfiltered truth. This is where stories are told, not to impress, but to impact. Thank you for watching Empire Talk. Subscribe, stay connected, and remember, your story still matters. We'll see you next time on Empire Talk.